Hi,
Hi.
Krystyna, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you for asking. I have many questions about your job process and about interview and about your job offers. My congratulations because you accept very nice offer after 2 weeks, and I was very surprised, and I'm just curious how it's possible. I mean, what kind of actions did you do for that?
That's all because of you. Of course, like, yeah, definitely there's no such a success without the course I take and I'm taking and without your lessons. But yeah, like mostly the reason why I really got this offer is because I followed all your steps in your lessons, which was related to the job searching process, like resume preparing, phone screen questions. That's like there was no such a tricky questions for me because I was kind of prepared. I expected every question I was asked, so there was no stress for me because we covered almost everything, and I was very confident in answering questions that they asked me because I was ready to get those questions. Yeah, it was, not that much stressful, but 90% we covered in our lessons. That's why, I believe I got it.
I just curious, many QAs think that they always have code challenges and different code tasks during interview, and I don't believe it. I mean, because it's not always white dashboard or some coding challenges. But anyway, many QA who want to be automation engineers, they try to prepare themselves for these tasks, and they waste a lot of time for that. And I'm sure, yeah, it's possible uh, to have interview with some companies who can provide these tasks, but again, it's not always like that. And it's possible to give a very good impression and give show your confidence just because you can explain whole project as senior automation QA and explain every detail and about project like Jenkins stuff, CI, and after that, step by step, almost all possible types of automation, what you can do, like security, performance, API, UI. After that, explain page object model. And when you can do after that, they don't ask some questions about some what kind of annotations do you use in TestNG, or what is explicit or implicit weights, what is encapsulation, because I understand you understand high level of picture, and it's very important. That's why I'm just curious, is it true or not? Because in your case, because you accepted two offers and after that you selected just one, but is it true or not that do you have some coding challenges or not? Again.
No, like I didn't have, no one even asked me to show the code. No one even asked me about, some Java core questions. I knew they might ask, but they didn't. They were more curious about the if I'm able to build the project from the scratch, the framework from the scratch. If I'm able to, work with different tools, and they were interested in Selenium and TestNG and Java and like Maven. They wanted all. And they just asking, do you know this? Do you know this? I'm like, yes, I know. Yes, I have experience. Yes, I built my framework from the scratch using this, and this. And they're like, oh, yes, we like it. Yeah, this is what we need. They exactly need the skill set that I have. That's the only questions what they asked. They didn't ask me to write anything. They didn't ask me to show my code, nothing. They didn't give me homework either. So I just was kind of like, wow, is it so easy? I'm like, that's cool. Yeah.
Because my feeling is that if you try to answer different type of questions like annotations, weights, and it's a more junior level of automation. But if you understand whole picture of project, they understand that no sense to ask you some questions about code or anyway. It's just my feelings again. Different QA, different opinion, and I'm sure that some companies definitely they ask algorithms, and but again, if they ask algorithms, they you should prepare yourself as developer more than QA, And if you write automation projects for many years, possible that you can fail this algorithm because just because you don't learn these algorithms. That's why I get it, just my feelings again. And it's more useful if you explain everything about project. And I have a question about processes. I mean, okay, how many steps do you have? It's phone screening with recruiters, phone screening with technical specialists, and after that, on-site interview, and how it's going. And just curious. Yeah.
First, what I did, I make my LinkedIn profile open so other recruiter can contact me. I updated my LinkedIn profile with all tools and experience I have, and I posted my resume on different like job searching sources like ZipRecruiter, Monster, and others, most popular ones. Yeah, and like first like few days it was silence, full silence. I was kind of upset, like how come I already open for new opportunities and no one calls me. But then it was crazy. I had 10 calls every day about different people. Most of them, like good recruiters, they first email you and schedule call
It's like
with.
snowball. Every day it's more and more calls.
Yeah, and I was, oh my gosh, I can't handle it because I have full-time job. I have to, to sit in my desk and do my job, and they just keep calling me. I'm like, wow, what to do? Yes, and of course, I tried to schedule most recruiter screening. We schedule it, and it was general questions with recruiters. Like they only ask about my experience, what I'm doing right now, and why I'm
High level, just questions about job description and about your resume. Yeah.
yeah, how I fit to their job descriptions. That's it. And then recruiters, they follow me to the next step to HR manager, to the direct HR who related to the company they hire. It was same questions, exactly same that I had with recruiters. They just talk more about their company and how they want me to perform there. And if
Team building, and
yeah, of course. And then after I passed HR manager, it was very easy. Recruiter and HR, they ask same question, just general question, nothing really specific. And then it was some QA people. For different companies, it might be QA lead, QA manager, maybe some senior QA, or just some person who in the field and who know what to ask. So yeah, and with QA people, there were questions related to the QA directly, like what tools do you use? What projects did you have? Like, did you use this tool or other tool? Like, it was still not really technical questions, but they were more interested deeply how I can manage different tasks. So if I did the continuous integration, or if I have experience with other like methods, what I can do, like did I work with databases or did I work with whatever they have on the field. So it was pretty much good and easy. I would say easy because every call was different, but same, the questions were the same.
yeah, every time. And after that on-site interview, and it's very interesting for me. It was with many people in one time, or it was with different people. For example, 1 hour you had one interview, and after that next one. Because I know difference. If you would have interview with many people together, it's very complicated because if it's 12 people, they ask 12 questions, and it's very exhausting for you because every time you need reply and you can't concentrate sometimes on projects. And but if you have interview with one or two people, after next one, it's very easy because it's very boring, but every time you replies and give same answers because it's same questions. And I'm just curious, what is your experience on that?
Before the interview, HR or HR manager or whoever responsible for this hiring process, she sent me the like list with the people who will be interviewing me. There was list of 3. So, and she mentioned the schedule. So every hour I'll have another person who will be interviewing me. So total, she scheduled 3.5 hours for me. And she also mentioned the people who will be. So I got names, but unfortunately I didn't find any one of those. So no one was on LinkedIn or whoever saw that. But they mentioned their position. So I was kind of already, a little bit prepared, because there was one manual QA analyst, there was one QA lead, and whoever is responsible for QA documentation, test cases, and process. So, I had an image what it is going to be there. So yeah, and once I came to the interview, the first was the QA lead, the person who I will be reporting to, and he asked the most difficult questions, I would say. For me, it was most technical questions, but it was nothing about real code questions or like some
For example, what kind of questions?
how, like, if you have this task, how would you manage this? If you have, well, like, for example, we have a lot of databases. How would you automate databases? What tools are you going to use? It were the questions like overall about how I am working on and how I am manage my workflow. It was nothing about, okay, give me an example from your
Show me
code.
your code.
Yeah, there was nothing. Just they were curious how I think. They were curious about my logic, how I will, dealing with different tasks. If I have any troubles, how I will manage these troubles. If I'm stuck, who I'm going to, just the overall questions. Nothing really specific. Yeah, that was good. Then second hour, it was another person. It was a lady. She mostly responsible for the test cases and the test coverage. And she was asking me about the process, like when we have releases in my current job, how do we receive new documentation? Who provides this documentation? How I'm building my test cases about new features. So it was like the questions about the workflow process, nothing about automation at all. Like zero question. They she was interested what the person am I in the team. So what is my role in a team in general? So if we have 10 people and some few managers, few automation, and the rest is manual, how I will be interacting with the rest of the team? That was her most most interest in me.
But
And
anyway, you explain automation project and you show handouts of project, and anyway, you explained a lot of details about how you can do that for them.
yeah, because I'm like, okay, I'm like the automation engineer, but I'm interacting with other member teams, and this is how we do, and this is what I'm doing in my test cases, and how I received them, and how I implemented them, and how the other team can participate. So yeah, it was definitely, I tried to push as much as I can on the automation side, but she interested me in general. But I kind of play my role. Yes. And next person, he was the manual analyst, like just manual tester or senior QA analyst, I'm not sure. And he was the person who was asking me most common questions about, you'll search most common interview questions, general, not related to anything. It was like, what is your strong side, where you can see your after 5 years, like who you want to be like in a few years, where do you want to grow, and that's it. This,
They need just good people, and they understand that they need some impression for you.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I know that first they hire the team player, and only then they hire professionals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a good team player, and I show it to them. So
Yeah,
it's
it's most
important.
important always. Yeah, it's in US. It's most important sometimes than just write code or anyway. You will see what you can do. I mean, sometimes can pass automation interview, and after that you can do manual testing for 100K. Sometimes you pass manual interview, and after that they ask you to do some super API automation testing or UI testing. It's also, but I noticed that if you get automation job, it's more easier for you because you have more time for education, like watch different tutorials, videos, documentation, and it's very nice. You improve your skills every day. In manual testing, I like manual testing, but you don't have time for that. You every time you tested something manually, every time deadlines, and it's not enough time for that. That's why I prefer automation. You have much more time for thinking, for how you can improve your career and how you can talk more with professionals, yeah, exchange different experience, because sometimes you can meet automation guys who has real experience for 10 years, and it's amazing because you exchange different type of knowledge with these people. They can show you a lot of interesting stuff even in Java, and it's not only for UI testing or API tests. It can be any type of testing, like desktop, database, batch file testing. That's why it's very important to discuss with this type of people. But again, automation interview, it's just one story. You pass or not. Sometimes they can ask very complicated questions. Sometimes it's very easy, like high level questions. And after that, next step, when you start working, it's totally different story. It can be, they talk a lot about something on real, but it's mostly not real situation. Mostly you start working, and after that you understand, do they have some real automation or not? Do they need automation guys, or they need manual tester with salary of automation engineer? That's why it's always lottery. It's always lottery. It doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes small companies, they can pay a lot of money. Sometimes big companies, they can hire you with very slow salary. That's why it's a big lottery always. I prefer small companies or middle size of companies, because in big companies it's always mess. I mean, it's if it's big corporation, it's always a lot of mess, a lot of different stuff what you don't want to do, like bureaucracy or something else. I prefer small or middle size of companies. Yeah.
But I was lucky and I got my first position in my first job in QA in very, very, very big company, and then now I'm going to very big company too. So I'll share my experience later how it is. Maybe it's good. We don't know yet.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. You explained a lot of interesting situations, and it's about one interview, and you have two on-site interviews with two companies. Yeah.
I had two offers, but the first company they gave me the offer without on-site interview. They
Okay,
just
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I had 5 call screen like phone interviews, 5.
Wow.
And after fours, after 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, after fours, they gave me an offer. They
Yeah.
called me and they told me that I have an offer. They announced an offer, but they didn't send me any, on paper offer, official one. And I had other interviews. I didn't stop looking because there's no paper, nothing. And then they said that I need to pass one more interview. I'm like, okay, one more. And then they send me the offer. All these interviews I have was like 5 typical HR manager interviews. Again, no question, no technical question. The most like they were curious about the tools, like how did you use Selenium? How good are you with Selenium? And do you know Docker? Do you know Jenkins? How do you manage Jenkins?
Open Wikipedia and tell about what you have inside Wikipedia.
Yeah, like tell me about what is Jenkins and how did you implement Jenkins? Like there was nothing really specific, nothing very, very, tricky that I don't know, but it was 5 calls, same thing. And it was the most difficult for me was find a time to have these calls because I work full time.
So
I have same office hours.
maybe 30 minutes each. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I tried on, okay, 5 p.m. and I was sitting in my car up in the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They call. Yeah,
In
that,
the
that's
situation always, if you want to switch jobs, you always go to parking. After that, inside car.
yes. All my phone interview was in my car because I work. It was during lunch hour or it was
Yeah,
after
yeah.
work. There's
Gotcha.
no way I can do it. I can, do it inside or it just not I'm not provide the respect to my company if I do it. So, but I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
like the company. Yeah, and
But
I
still, for me, it's like a magic. For example, you have 5 calls. It's a lot, yeah. But anyway, if some company they can provide offer by phone, for me it's still magic. I mean, I had never had this situation. That's why I heard that some QA they had this situation when they accept and got some offers by phone. But for me, it's like magic because every time I have on-site interview, every time I discuss a lot with different people, and it's like, wow, how it's possible?
After that, after I got the offer, I didn't accept it right away. Like,
Mhm,
and I asked the question, like my QA lead, like
mhm,
prospective QA lead. I asked her, how did she make this decision? How did she hire me without on-site interview?
yeah,
And she told me like, I'm the kind of person who can understand. I just ask you several questions. If you don't know this
yeah.
specific this, if you don't know this, you'll figure out how to use it. Like that's it. I don't need you here because I'll be asking you same questions. This is what he said. Like if you go on site, I'll ask you the same. I can ask you by phone. You answer right away, that's fine. It works fast. That's it. That
But
was a very good experience for me because, I kind of get into the process and I'm like, okay, like 10 calls, same questions. And then after each call, I was like,
yeah,
okay. And you know a lot of them start pushing me to ask about low numbers. Like they ask me how much I want. I always say as much, and I understand like what I can get. And I'm like, okay, what about 90? What about 95? What about 100? Some of them told me, would you accept 75? I'm like, no, no way, come on. I'm a
different companies, different budget. Yeah,
I'm a professional with experience. 75? No, no way. And they're like, 90, okay, 90. So they just play with me. I'm like, they just try to give me 75 and at the same time they are able to give me 90. They're like, okay,
yeah,
90, okay, it works for us. I mean, why did you ask me 75 if you can't give me 90? Like, yeah, it's always, you
it's
play with
game.
them, they
It's game.
play with you too. They try to, to save some money for, for their pockets, and I can understand it, but we always should know our price, especially recruiters, especially contract positions. They try to get as low as they can you and get more money from the
You
company.
know, sometimes recruiters they help you. I had same situation. I asked less, and after that, the recruiter suggested me to increase because I understand he had some percent of that, and he had some income, yeah, from my salary, and I agree. And after that, I understood that it's possible to find company who can pay 100K or more. After that, I understood that he helped me.
For me.
And again, salary is important, but it's very when you have same level salary every time, because anyway we have something maximum, yeah, in industry. You always try to select the best technology for you. If, for example, you know that if companies they provide you same salary and they ask you some VB script or C sharp with desktop application or and if you like it, I mean, if you like C sharp and you are okay to work with desktop application, it's great for you. But again, if you know Java and you try to improve your skills more and more in Selenium and TestNG or JUnit, it doesn't matter. I I definitely can select this type of company because it's my stack. I like it. Thank you so much for nice conversation. It's very useful information for our students. And I wish you good luck in your new company because I'm sure that you improve your automation skills more and more every day in this company, and you create very nice, beautiful test framework for them too. Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you. Good luck for your students. I'm still your student because I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
halfway on the course. I didn't complete it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, best my advice for your students and for all my friends who I met in our group, student group, that just be confident and believe in yourself. The recruiters, the HR, the people, they see how you feel yourself with what you say. And if you believe in yourself, they will believe in you too. So that's what really works. Okay,
Okay. Thank you so
thanks.
much. Goodbye. Goodbye, Karen.
Goodbye.
Bye.